Hello, everyone. Welcome to our migraine strategy call. I am Debbie Waidl. I am your migraine specialist here to help you figure out exactly how to get to the root cause of your migraines so that you don't have to continue using all of the Band-Aid fixes that you're using now and not get the results that you're looking for. We come to you every Thursday bringing you strategies and trainings and special guests. And today we have a very special guest with us today. So Amber, thanks for being with us today.
You're welcome.
So
Happy
Amber's,
to be here.
yeah, Amber's a graduate of our Freedom From Migraine Method program, and she's here to share her story today. So how about you just tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started today?
All right. So I am a wife and mother of two. I'm a high school counselor. And just with all of life's activities, I'm busy and have had no time for aggravating migraines.
That is perfectly put. There is no time for migraines, right? Man, they take up so much of our spare time. It's just not fair. Not
Yes.
at all. And I don't know if everyone caught that Amber works in a school system. Shocking. We have so many educators, counselors, administrative staff. We seem to have a large majority of women that come to us that work in the educational system. So we are glad to be able to help and support because we know that you just take on so much with all of your
Mhm.
students and with everyone you work with that sometimes it's hard to find that time for yourself. So you did, and we're here to share with everyone how that's going. So let's just dive right in. And everyone, please let me know. It looks like I just double checked in the group. We are amazingly live. So, hey, Jen. Jen is also an educator. And on summer as of yesterday. Yes, Amber's on summer as
Yes.
well. Hey, Nicole. Hello, everyone. So keep posting your questions. Keep giving us some love over there so we don't feel alone. We're so happy we were able to stream this live. So we want to have some interaction with everyone. But I want to talk a little bit about testing right now. You know, we have many women that go through testing to kind of determine if they have migraines. And I know that your doctor ordered testing for you to determine what was wrong. Do you remember what the test, what test you did and, what they showed?
Yes. So I mean, I'm 47. I had gone 46 years of my life and never had a headache other than, just typical bad day
Hmm.
headache. Take a couple of Tylenol, you're fine.
Yep.
But I started having whoppers of headaches and they increased in frequency, they increased in severity. I felt like it was becoming debilitating. My quality of life was just not the same.
Hmm.
So I went to the doctor. And when I say doctor, it was a physician's assistant. In our area, healthcare is hard to come by. And so, but she's a person who's treated me
Yep.
forever. And so went to her and, at first she was just thinking it was tension and stress and my kids were getting older and activities were you know just not getting good quality sleep and
Yep.
she just felt like I was stressed.
Yep.
So we started with muscle relaxer. She's like, take one of these in the evening, just I think this is just going to help keep that tension in the back of your neck less and then you won't get the headaches. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I'm wanting to answer your question. I'm going to get there. I promise.
I love all the backstory. And I was
Okay.
actually just going to interrupt and say almost every single one that I talk to talks about neck tension. So I
Uh-huh.
love the fact that you brought that up. So
Yes.
continue, please.
I haven't forgotten the point. So we started with the muscle relaxer. But here's the thing. She prescribed it. And then my mother had a bad experience with muscle relaxer, or at least she said she did. And so I mean, I'm terrified of medicine, period. And so, I was like, oh, I'm afraid if I take this, I'm not going to be able to function tomorrow, or I'm not going to. So just didn't take it. So I was just like, I'll just suffer. I'll just try to be less stressed.
Yeah.
So I
Which
didn't
makes
take
you more stressed when you're trying to be less stressed,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So, but I did eventually, make a long story short, I had to try it because I was suffering and it did nothing. Like I was like, wow, this is nothing. So because I was suffering so bad and I had tried the medicine and it didn't work, I went back. And at this point in time, it was over Christmas break. And I guess the holidays just took the headaches I was having and just like took them next level,
Mm.
2 levels up.
Ugh.
I woke up in the night and I thought something was better. I was thinking brain tumor or aneurysm or, whatever was the worst thing that I could
Yep.
have. That's what I had. And so I was calling her over Christmas break, just begging her, please get me in, please see me. And I think I scared her, really.
Mhm.
So she immediately started working on me getting an MRI.
Right.
She's like, I just want to see what's in there because she's
Yep.
like, you're making this sound like something is really bad wrong. Um, at that point in time, I could not get an MRI in my area for 2 months.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
And I was just like, if this is something bad, that's a lot of time that I'm wasting that I could be getting a treatment plan together for. Because of course I was convinced it was the worst thing that
Mhm.
whatever.
As we all
Um,
are when that pain hits like that level 9 or 10, we all think that it's the worst thing.
yeah. So I was just like, this is unacceptable. Like, we've got to figure this out. And so over that same period of time, she said, well, let's do a CAT scan, a
Mhm.
CT scan, just to make sure with contrast. She's like, I do want to make sure you don't have a bleed or you know, I don't know
Yep.
what you see. I don't want to act like a medical expert because I'm not, but whatever you see with the CAT scan, she's like, I just want to see. So I could do that locally that day. So I did
Okay.
have that. And so she ruled out some of my fears with that.
Mhm.
But she said, I definitely want you to have the MRI. So there was a place 2 hours away from where I live that if you paid cash, you could get an MRI done quicker. I don't know. It's probably, I maybe shouldn't tell people that. But anyway, I got an MRI done quicker, paid cash because I had to have it done.
That
I
had to
was,
be a nice bill.
yeah, it wasn't, but Merry Christmas to me.
I was gonna say, I'm sure that wasn't pleasant, but
Yeah.
you had the MRI.
Mhm.
What were the results of it?
Nothing. Like my head's clear.
Mhm.
I don't know. There was no evidence of why I should have head pain or any indication that I had anything. It was remarkable. Is that what they say? Unremarkable? I don't know, but it was clear.
Yeah. And we hear this so often. And I'm not, anyone that's watching right now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do an MRI, or a CAT scan, because I do think that there are times where crossing something off the list can make us feel better.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to say to most of you watching is that typically it's a migraine. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing you may see on testing like that would be if you had migraines for a very long time, you can actually see the damage that migraines are causing. So they may see some of that. But typically, it's not brain tumors that are showing up. It's not, bleeds. It's not all those things. It's sadly migraine.
Mm-hmm.
So you had the test, you got that done. And then obviously, you had to move on to the next thing. So what did your physician's assistant want to do after that?
Well, so she prescribed Topamax and Imitrex, and I got all the instructions on how to take one and when to take the other. And I was like, okay, okay.
Hmm.
And I left there, and the first thing I did was Google and start talking to my colleagues and my neighbors and people that I knew about this medicine. And I just heard scary things that people had experienced taking them and them together. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I can do that. I just,
We
I
call
couldn't.
Topamax Dopamax. It
Yeah.
just makes you stupid. And for most people, it's not a
Mhm.
good drug. So it scared you.
Yes, it scared me. It very much scared me. And again, I told you earlier that I was terrified to take the muscle relaxer. I just don't want to take any medicine. I can have a horrible case of poison ivy and I won't take a Benadryl because I don't like the way it makes me feel. And so that's just who I am. I don't know. I just don't want to take medicine.
Well, I think it's good to be cautious because there is a consequence for every single pill we take. even if it's a
Mhm.
Tylenol, even if it's a baby aspirin. And I'm not saying that they're all horrible side effects, but there is a risk every single time you take a medication. So your doctor's or your physician's assistant's prescribing these things for you. She's trying to help you and you don't do it. So how did she feel about that?
Okay, so I was still, and by this time, it's not just head pain. I'm experiencing brain fog. I mean, there were days, I mean, I couldn't pull words out of my head. I felt, I mean, I wasn't good at my job. I
Mhm.
was suffering in lots of different ways. And so, um, made another appointment. What I was needing, here's what I've learned is what I was needing, they're not trained to give. Is it something I mean, because in my mind, I was like, why did I go this long? And here's the other thing, I don't have a family history of migraines. Like, no one in my entire family, either side, has experienced migraine headaches. So I don't know. So then I'm also 47 years old. So then, everyone wants to start talking about hormones, and we can talk about that later. But I was like, am I allergic to something? Am I eating something? Do I have mold in my house? Is there mold at school? Is there, like, somebody tell me something that caused this?
You wanted
And
that one magic thing, right? You wanted that
uh-huh.
one thing that you could blame your pain on.
Well, and what I was searching for was root cause. What caused this?
Hmm.
Where, why did this switch flip? And now I have headaches whenever I did not have them before.
Hmm.
What happened?
Yep.
Um, so I kept making the appointments with her. She knows how to treat me medically.
Hmm.
Here's the symptoms. Here's what I've been trying to do to help that symptom.
Yep.
I didn't want that help. I wanted her to help me find a root cause. And so we kind of did a dance of frustration. I was becoming frustrated because I wasn't getting anything other than try this, try this, try this, try this.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
like, stop with that. I want to have a conversation about why this happened.
Hmm.
And she just didn't know where to go with that because that's not how she's trained. And I totally understand that now. But when you are desperately looking for relief,
Hmm.
it was frustrating.
Yeah, it is frustrating. And I find it frustrating that many women sadly don't know to think the way that you thought, right? You were going to the doctor for help. You know, you wanted some help, but what you wanted was root cause help. And it took you a while to realize, okay, this doctor is not trained to do that for me. Right.
Right.
But there are so many women in this group that are like, okay, they have the white coat on, they have the diploma on the wall. So they must be the one that's supposed to help me end the pain. But
Right.
they're trained in management. They are trained in pain management, and that's their job, right?
And yes. And I'm very thankful that she's trained to do what she does.
Absolutely.
I mean, I continue to go to her when I need that type of treatment.
Absolutely.
But for this specific situation, my gut just told me there was more to what I needed than just masking it with medication.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. You continue to go because your doctor cares. It's not like your doctor was like, I don't want to get to the root cause. I don't want to
Right,
figure this out.
right,
You
right.
did the MRI, you did the CAT scan. She's trying to troubleshoot and figure out what's going on. But when
Yes.
you hit something like that, you need someone that has a functional approach that's going to be able to help you get to that root cause. And if you are someone that wants to take medication, you can use those meds for the short term while
Mhm.
you're working on getting to the root cause.
Yes.
I'm not saying there's a right or wrong. I think that's a personal choice. You have to
Right.
choose personally if you're going to do the medication route. But I think everyone, no matter which route you decide to go, if you do the medication route, you need to know it's not lifelong. You need to
Right.
make sure that you're working on it. So, oh, you've got so many people popping on to listen to you today. Hey, Paula. Paula was on both of those meds. Yeah, the Topamax and Imitrex combination, not a happy one. Shani, hello, good to see you. And Tammy, hey, Valentina and Chris. So good to see everybody today. Paula's kids get off of school Friday. Yeah, it's so
Yes.
early,
Happy day.
early. In New York, most of our kids aren't done till like the end of the month.
Yeah.
The end of June, I should say, not the end of May. So they almost have a full month to go. So
Oh, wow.
lucky for you guys. Lucky for you. All right, ladies, if you have any questions as we keep going, make sure you pop them in below. Jen saying before trying this group, I didn't think that there was a different way. With the history of them in my family, I just assumed I had to manage and never be able to eliminate them or lessen their effects. Yes, now you know. And Paula says Topamax gave me tremors. Yeah, Topamax is probably my least favorite migraine medication that there is. Massive side effects, massive issues, and it is one of the first medications that we try to help and support our clients with the help of their doctors get off of. So anybody watching this, just know that it's called Dopamax for a reason, and it's not a positive one. All right, so let's kind of shift a little bit here. We know that so many women have no idea that, some of the symptoms they're feeling and other health concerns that they have, that they actually connect. So for example, they may feel that, their gut issues or their allergies need to be worked on separately, and then they can work on their migraines. So for you, these migraines kind of came out of the blue, right?
Mhm.
So what other health concerns besides migraines did you have before joining the program?
Well, I had gained a lot, well, I'd gained a lot of weight. And it just slowly crept up on me. Your pants get a little tighter and you're like, oh, it's been the holidays, or, anyway, but over time I'd gained some weight. And because of my age, I was concerned about my perimenopause, and
Mhm.
like, where am I in that? And, so at that point in time, when people started sharing with me, well, you're the age where, this could be happening.
Yeah.
And, so then that became a concern. Like,
Mhm.
well, maybe that's what this is.
Yep,
I don't know.
exactly. So
So my health, my weight and hormones, I do suffer from seasonal allergies. Um, but through the program, I mean, so many things have improved. That I can't even hardly remember what I was, all the concerns that I had before have improved so much. Now I can't even remember what they are.
and that is the great thing. And the reason I wanted to bring this up and ask this is because when migraines show up, and you don't have a family history, it's almost easier to figure out why they show up. And when we look back, it's that chronic inflammation. And if you're
Mhm.
mentioning you gained a little bit of weight, yes, you are getting closer to perimenopause, which, if your hormones are out of balance, that actually has an impact on your inflammation. Allergies has an impact on inflammation. So it was just kind of like a tipping point for you. I don't really know if it was the hormones that tipped you or if it was the weight that tipped you, but either way, think about it like a bucket. And as you fill those things in there, whatever the last one was, it doesn't really matter, because all together is what was triggering that migraine. But then when we
Mhm.
can work on them, the great thing, as you said, is not only are we helping the migraines, but you can feel like a different person. And I must admit, I don't remember every single one right now, but when you and I talked last week, you gave me a list like this long
Yep.
of health things that felt better. I'd say, okay, is there more? And then you're like, oh yeah, and this.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
anything else? Yep, and this. And we kept going and going and going. And
Yeah.
things like, I don't remember yours specifically, but many women will say, my energy is better, my sleep is
Oh,
better,
yes.
my
Yes.
joints feel better,
Yes.
I don't have dry skin like I used to, my brain fog is gone. And
All of
it,
those. Yes.
it's
Yes.
just amazing the difference you can make. So I think the point we're trying to get to here is I don't want people to think, well, as soon as I fix my gut, I'll work on my migraines. Or as
Right.
soon as I fix my autoimmune condition, I can work on my migraines. Because guess what? They're all tied together.
Right.
So the great thing is we work on the migraines and we can knock all the rest of those dominoes down, which is so nice.
Yes. For sure.
Amazing. Um, so we've had many women over the last few months. We've had a lot of women actually join, which is a positive. We love the fact we can help them, but it also makes me so sad because more women are suffering migraines and more women are trying to find, ways to get help because they're just not getting it in mainstream medicine, but they still come into the group skeptical, right? They come into the group and they're like, who is this woman that I'm meeting on Facebook? And how could she possibly help me when the doctor that has 15 years of education can't help? So how did you feel? And did you join us right away, or were you kind of that person that was sitting in the background wondering who the hell Debbie Waidl is and if she's worth having a conversation with?
Yes, I'm a skeptic by nature. All things I'm skeptical of. But I did find the group and I immediately requested to join.
Mhm.
And I will be honest that just joining that group was helpful because I could see that there were more women suffering than
Mhm.
it was a community of people that I was like, oh, I'm not alone.
Yep.
The other thing was in the general group, I just picking up little bits of general information. I was like, okay, all right, I can go with that. I mean, I appreciate this.
Hmm.
Um, However, it was really hard to just. I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't
Hmm.
know that the Freedom from Migraine Method group, how much one-on-one and individualized help I was going to receive for myself.
Hmm.
Um, I just don't know that I understood or from the
Hmm.
general group that there was that much that was to be offered. Um, and so it was over a year. I think over the Christmas break that I was talking about that finally had the MRI, the CAT scan, all that. I was staying up. I was afraid to go to sleep because that's when my migraine would happen. So through the night, I was just searching, Googling, trying to solve my problem on my own. That's whenever I found the group. And I could definitely tell someone had already done the work for me.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm pretty sure Valentina reached out to me asking if I would like more information, and I was like, "Ooh, that's too. I don't know about that." So I just kind of ignored it. Like, "Oh, I don't know. That's getting really real." And in my mind, thinking, "Well, what are they going to do for me? Like, what are they? It's on Facebook. What are they going to do?" Um, so it was a year, and after lots of chiropractic care, after lots of massage therapy, after physical therapy, after refusing to take the medicines and going, having this little dance with my provider, I was like, all right, I don't know. I don't know what else I'm going to do.
Hmm.
I need help. I don't want to live the rest of my life. I have too many life experiences ahead of me to be feeling this way.
Absolutely.
So, I did. I made connection with Valentina, and we set up a pre-meeting, and then the ball just started rolling, and I have no regrets.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Do you feel that if you hadn't had that conversation with Valentina and you kept going on Dr. Google,
Mhm.
and just searching for other Facebook groups that are just women chatting with each other, do you feel that you could have pieced together everything that was pieced together in the program that you did?
No, no. And on top of that, I would have probably bought ridiculous gadgets or any supplement. I would have just been grasping.
Yeah.
I would have wasted time and money and energy and been no further ahead than not doing it at all.
The reason I asked you that is because I think I've had 4 conversations this week with women in Messenger, which we chat a lot with people in Messenger for their privacy instead of, in the Women's Migraine Freedom Group. And I've had a lot of conversations with women that are like, I just want you to tell me exactly what the program will look like for me. I want to know exactly what you're going to do, exactly how it's going to look. And trying to explain to them that each and every one of you come into the program with the same foundational program, but each one of you leaves doing something different. It's
Yes.
hard for people to believe that that's true. They think that that is, for lack of better words, like a sales scheme. Oh, she doesn't want to give me a price. She doesn't want to tell me how this works for me. She doesn't want to tell me exactly what I need to do so I can go do it myself. And
Right.
it really is none of those things because, as Amber can attest, when she left the program, there was probably 60 women in there, I want to say, around average, around 60 women in the program. And each one of you was eating differently, drinking differently, exercising differently, sleeping
Right.
differently. And
Right.
Amber, do you feel if you had followed, like if you'd pick one woman in that group and just followed what she did, do you think you'd be where you are right now?
No. No, but you learn so much from each one of them.
Yes.
You learn, because there are bits and pieces of every other woman's struggle that you identify with, but it may not be your specific thing that you need to focus on the most, but you do learn from it.
Exactly. And I think the camaraderie, I think that is a big, I could see each of you supporting each other,
Yes.
there for each other, helping each other. And I'm having a teacher tell me right now, it's differentiation. That
Oh,
is the word I
yes.
was looking for.
Yes. It is differentiated in person.
So
Exactly
I'm
right.
going to have to remember that, to use that word
Yes.
with women that are giving me a hard time in Messenger and telling me that I'm just trying to, be salesy with them. And it is so not that way. Like, I love
No.
generalized information. And this is one thing, and then I'll let Amber finish up. I'm kind of taking over here for a second, but there are some things that we can do generalized that will work for everyone. If I said to every single one of you right now, I'm trying to look you all in the eye, quit sugar. That's going to work for all of you. It's going to be a helpful thing. All of you will benefit from that. But how you quit it is totally different.
Right.
Some people can go cold turkey, be absolutely fine. Some people need to taper down, because if they don't, they're going to have, like the sugar flu. They're going to feel horrible. Some people, maybe we need to change their diet before they get rid of sugar. And this is where the problem lies, is people go online and they just read an article and they're like, oh my God, this is so generic. It's so general. Well, it has to be. It has to be, because we can't put anything online that's individualized unless we know your health history, your goals, how your life is. What if I say to someone, you have to eat broccoli every day, and they can't because they're allergic to it, right? If we put that online, we're
Right.
going to hurt people. So I summed it up well. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Those in the program have a hard time grasping this program will work. Yeah, it is hard. And I get it. I get it. Even when I join things, if I do a mastermind or if I do a training, I'm really, I'm really hard on the people. I ask a million questions, but then I really let that information soak in and realize that when you want to learn something new, you need an expert to help you, right? You need that person who knows what's going on, and that's what we live, eat, and breathe. But anyway, back to you, Amber. So I want to make sure you have the opportunity to chat with these ladies one-on-one, because you got a ton of people listening to you. So what do you want to say to them? What do you want to
Hmm.
tell them?
Well, believe that you can get better. You can. Your body will heal. You just have to give it the tools to heal itself. And it takes time. Um, I was guilty that whenever I joined the group, within the first week, I wanted to feel miraculously better. I
Yes, you
did feel
did.
better. I did feel better. Um, but the amount of time it's taken for your body to react in this way, it may take exactly that same amount of time to heal itself and to feel like you did before. Um, so, but again, I have no regrets. The program, it works. Um, I don't know how else to say it, or a better way to say it, but it does. And I am so thankful that in the wee hours of the night, scrolling and Googling, that I did come across the program.
Well, we're so glad that you found us, and we wish that we, in some way, shape, or form, could help every single woman out there, whether that be through a program, a challenge, a boot camp, a master class. And for those of you that do feel a little bit skeptical and are like, I'm not ready to dive in 100%, join us for our master class next week. It is a
And
great way. Did you do
yes,
the master class?
I did. So before I jumped in with both feet, I put one foot in the water with a master class. And through that, I was like, this is legit. Like, this is this is very professional. It's real. The materials are good. And I don't know. It just restored like my faith in it's gonna work.
I love that. And it's just a chance for us to get to know each other a little bit more, right? It's still, we can't dive into 100% one-on-one coaching on a master class, because there's still a ton of people on there, but at least we can start giving you some foundation. You can get to know me, I can get to know you, and then we can determine, is this a smart move forward for you? And if not, we're going to help you figure out what is.
Right.
I want to make sure that each and every one of you find your migraine freedom. And if for some reason it's not with us, though pretty much almost everybody we talk to, we can help. I'd say 99% of people we can, but if we're not a good fit, then let me help you find a place that is. Because I lost 10 years to my life with migraines when my kids were young, and I don't want anybody else to have to do that. You know, my kids are 29 and almost 25 right now. And if I could get those 10 years back and go back and change those diapers and, you know, have to get up late nights and clean up puke, I would do it in a heartbeat. Because I don't remember it. You know, I mean, I was in like a drugged fog and in pain every day. And they constantly are telling me stories. I'm like, I don't remember that. I really don't. And it kind of breaks my heart. So I don't want it to happen to anybody else. So I'm making new memories with my kids now, which is amazing. They are the most phenomenal adults. But please don't make the same mistake I did and get 10 years of your life down the toilet, you know, taking meds.
Right.
But well, Amber, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
I love your story, and I'm so glad that we got another chance to chat. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat below this. We will also make sure that we drop in the link for the masterclass for any of you who would like to join us. It is next week, June, let's say the 5th. Let me double check. Yes, it is next week, June 5th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. It is a 90-minute class. We do have the full replay for anyone that signs up. So if you can't make it due to your time zone, have no fear, you can still participate. All right, everybody, have a great day. This was amazing, and we will see you all in the group. Take care, everybody.